Okay. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Let me start the stream manager. Okay, so the chat is on. So let me prepare the stuff to do. Try hotspot. Oh yeah, so it's stream number 19. Houses again. Let me just prepare. The sound is okay. I reduced the sensitivity of the microphone a bit because I figured out that by rewatching the previous video, turns out it was a bit too loud. Like, sometimes I put my head a bit down towards the microphone and it clips. So better to have it slightly lower than clip. I don't need this. What is this? YouTube. Railings. Okay, cool. Let's start Blender. It's there. Okay, so everything is set up. Chat is here. Okay, cool. So, hello everyone. Again, to the stream. So what is today going to be about? More houses. Well, more about town stuff. Houses and town stuff. Again. So yeah, a little bit more modeling and a few other things, which we will get up to. Yeah, the first thing is actually, I want to try, actually yes, before the houses, I want to try baking the light map for houses, because I did actually do that, but it's kind of broken. The thing is that if I go to, okay, let's make a new one. Let's make a new view, which is going to be, yeah, a new general view, but flat with attribute. So this attribute thing is the vertex color. Strangely, they're not calling it, rename. How do you rename this? You double click? Yes, you do. Vertex color. Okay, so let's put it somewhere. Oh wait, why can't I move it? How do you move this? G? No. Reorder to front. You can't move it. I don't know. You can't move by one. So you have to like reorder to front like this. Okay. Hi, I wonder if you found the bug from yesterday. I did, and it turned out, yeah, let me, I will talk about it in a few minutes. Yeah, I will talk about what I did in the last stream. So yeah, anyway, this thing is a vertex color, and you can see how I've actually baked the light map to the vertex. The bridge is not baked, but this is, and you can see that the vertices, there's more vertices here than here, obviously, because there's a higher resolution of the light map. I will eventually put more vertices in here. So yeah, this is how it should sort of look like at the end, except that some objects don't use specific light map shaders. And that's why here I have, so some of the problems of using vertex color is that you depend on where exactly the vertices are. So in the case of, yeah, you can the clearest is on this fence. So this fence is actually a double, let me show you like this. Wait, pure texture. Yeah, it's this one actually, this view. So you can see that the vertices, no, wait, much better to show it here. You can see how dense these vertices are. And the thing is that this fence specifically is just a bunch of planes, and there's a copy of the planes on the other side. So, because of course it's double-sided. So one side and the other side. And the problem is that because those two sides are close, when you bake vertices, they actually overlap sometimes, and so this looks awful. And another thing is that this vertex in particular here is shaded, so it's completely black. And this one is, so it's black. This one is, so it's black. But all the others are on the other side of the fence, so they're white. So you have this discrepancy. So basically, you have to design all the vertices to fit where the shadow should be, which is a problem. But it's something that I can only do at the end. And as you can see here, especially in the house, because the house has a really weird, it has weird vertices because I actually, you can see that the vertex is here. I actually inset this window. So there's this diagonal and this diagonal, and there's 4 diagonals. And so there's 2 vertices here, but there are no vertices over here, like in the same line. So that's why it's kind of like weirdly is black. This black triangle goes all the way down. And yeah, because this vertex is actually behind the gutter. So if you just move the gutter, it would have a completely different light map. So yeah, there's a lot of vertex wiggling that I'm gonna have to do. Oh, and especially here, this vertex of the roof is actually inside the chimney. And because it is inside the chimney, it is black. So it has this like, there's this gradient on the top of the roof. Yeah, so light mapping, I hate it. Yeah, it's terrible. But it does provide some shade, right? Because like if you don't have this, yeah, I'll show it in the game later. Anyway, so let's quickly go over what I did yesterday. So yesterday I made these houses, right? And I managed to, I actually finished kind of. I didn't really finish, but I made this house. And let's make this transparent actually. This object, this shader, town fences, should pass its alpha to the alpha, and then which one was it? It was this. And then it should use that alpha for cutouts, which is, where do you set that up? I need to remember. Oh, I think I have to move to Eevee, which sucks. Yeah, there it is. Alpha clip. There it is. Okay, it's cool. So I can actually see the true as it should appear. And also these. So yeah, these fences. I made these on the last stream, which I yeah, which actually is kind of like this top is kind of weird because it's of course like a pyramidal thing, but I just put it as a sprite and then I just made 4 sprites, so you have this hole. But you know, in the game it looks fine. You're just like driving so fast past it, you're not even gonna focus on that so much. So yeah, I made these and then I tried to import it in the game. And what happened in the game? Well, it crashed. It crashed a lot. And then I couldn't figure out why was it crashing. And yeah, let's actually open Visual Studio. Where are you from? I'm trying to pick your accent. I am from Serbia, but yeah, I am. I don't think my accent is too Serbian. Maybe just a few like hard or something sometimes. Some people say I do sound like Serbian. Some people say I don't. But yeah, I know people who have a more harsher how to say accent. Anyway, so yeah, what was the problem? What was the problem? Let me start the game. And is this, yeah, it's a release. Cool. I guess you were from Bosnia. Oh, wow. Yeah, so you were close. That's good. And where are you from? Try hotspots. Oh yeah, in between. Right. There's I did a few things in between, but yeah, let me show the game. Australian mate. Okay, nice. Yeah, I found out a lot of new Australian words that end on O. And I figured out that it's like a very Australian thing to do, like servo and smoko, and I don't know, but it was very funny. Anyway, maybe a Australian rally game should be called Relo or something like that, Relio. Anyway, so here's the game, and as you can see. As you can see, you have so yeah, you can see that these light maps are, for example, here they really contribute a lot to the lighting of the game. And one more thing I added yesterday, actually after the stream, is this. I added a little thing that says shadow multiplier, which is a color, and you can actually change it. So I'm passing this to the shader to multiply. And if you make it white, the shadow disappears. So you can see how much like depth it adds. You can even make it red if you want, or any other color. But yeah, if I just turn off the shadow, you can see how much. Well, the car still gets dark because it uses a different technique and a different shader. But you can see how flat now it looks like, right? And if you use a shadow, it really adds depth to the game. So here's the village. Here's the village with with light maps. But the problem is that some of these light maps are not. Yeah, some houses don't have light maps. Wait, let me just let the car just hit the wall over there, so I can just fly around. Yeah, as you can see, some of the houses don't have light maps because they didn't add them to all of the houses. But as you can see, some of these have awful light maps. Oh, and one more thing. This chimney, right? I was talking about this chimney. When I was working on this chimney, I was like, yeah, what if you just put this object on top of a house? And nobody is gonna even notice that it's not part of the same wall, because it should be the part of the same wall. You know, it totally blends in. But actually in the game, because it has this shitty light map, you can actually see the difference. So that's a bit of a problem. Anyway, so yeah, if I remove the light map now by putting the color multiplication to white, you can see that this now looks more pure and nice, but it would be nice to still have some shading, right? So yeah, maybe not using a full shadow, but just using like slight and then trying to fix it. But it does add some depth, right? I do like the light map, but it's nice even without the light map. So yeah, some windows, some stairs you can go up. I should now add a first person mode as well, and this fence that yesterday I was masking out these holes. It looks terrible, but from the distance it just looks fine. You know, it looks like a fence. And this one as well, which had so many problems to like to try to isolate these holes inside. And sometimes, so yeah, I realized that also. I think I need to maybe increase. I really like this view from here. Like, yeah, I can even zoom. This view is really good. And there's actually a bridge over there, but you can't see it because it's in the fog. But I can move the fog a bit away. Unfortunately, I can't lock the mouse here. I don't know why. It should actually lock if you hide the mouse. Or if you unhide the mouse, but I don't know why it doesn't. Wait, where scene uniforms? Yeah, I can push the radius. Wait, I can push the radius of the fog. I have to do this. Oh, there's the alien over there. That's actually the sun cube, the cube that is pointing where sun should be. Yeah, so if I push the fog away, now you can see the bridge. There it is. And I could even change sort of the power of the fog. So if I put it a bit closer, but now there's still some fog, but you can still see the bridge. So yeah, this is kind of nice. This is very nice. And there's the car crashed down there. Yeah, it would be really cool to have the replays, but I don't have them yet. So, and they won't be in the game. In the first version of the game, which I'm planning to release next week, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Hello Axio, thanks. It's beautiful. Yeah. From some angles it is. From some angles it's crap. Like, look at this seam. It's all the stuff that I'm yet to finish working on, because I mean, clearly there's like there's a difference between mountains that are far away and very low poly, and then there's the track, which is higher low poly, but still low poly. Anyway, yes, one more thing that I had to do yesterday is I had to collapse this mountain a bit. So you see the angle of the sun is the sun is actually coming from over there, from the middle of the screen. And I had, so there used to be a mountain, a huge mountain that filled this gap. And the problem is that this mountain cast a shadow on the whole town, and it just made the whole town black. And if you watched it before, if you watched the streams yesterday and before yesterday, you would have noticed that the town was very dark, and that's because this mountain was blocking the shadow, was blocking the sun and creating a big shadow. And so I had to move the mountain so that it would get it. There would be some more normal shadow from the houses and not from the mountain, right? And not make the whole town totally black. Yeah, maybe I should. Let's have a little bit of a shadow for now. And let's do a lap on this side, if that's okay. Oh, and this, by the way, sorry for this. That red line you saw was just like a checker for terrain, which is one of the things that I need to. Which I need to finish as well, which is picking up, so raycasting into terrain and then figuring out which material the mesh is made of, so that I can do different materials, different material responses for the tires, right? The tarmac and the grass and dirt should have different responses, which right now everything is basically tarmac, right? So. Whoa. So yeah, this fence, of course, of the bridge is also new, which I added yesterday. Ah, this is so dark now. Yeah, I shouldn't have made it pitch black, actually, the shadow. Oh, and this shadow. Oh no, this shadow was completely broken. And yeah, of course, the game also has like it has a image effect on top which crunches the colors, but I can also turn off it. If I turn off image effects, then you have a more less of a early 90s and more of a early 2000s look. And here's the town. You cross the bridge and you're in the town, which yeah looks terrible with this light map. Let me not the car shadow, the shadow multiplier. Yeah, if I remove the shadow, you can see the town looks a bit prettier, right? You can take the road over here, or you can take a circle. I'm not exactly sure where to take the car through. But probably I'm just gonna take it through these streets and then back onto the bridge over here, so. Okay, so that's about it. Hello Farfade, nice to see you. So much illusionism is involved in rendering. It is, yes, always. So yeah. So yeah, what was the problem yesterday? Sorry, somebody was asking. Marcos Don was asking about what was the issue. So the issue, which was hidden inside my engine code, is that in the engine I actually have, when you initialize the engine, you have this function init_all where I initialize everything about the engine, the physics, audio, right? Then I have assets. So assets are collections of meshes, materials, and stuff. And of course, I create a window for the game at the end. And then there's like input callbacks so that the game can detect key presses and stuff, and camera projections and stuff like that, and then initialized everything. But the thing is that in this init_all, you see this little thing that I added yesterday. This is actually an empty struct. This is a default struct, which in the past, what I did was I initialized to, so basically what I do is I have an array of meshes. I have an array of meshes, which is it's not an array, it's a vector, right? But a vector of meshes has a certain capacity, and that capacity was 64. And what I was doing was I was actually pushing more than 64 meshes. I was pushing 60. So yeah, I saw that the number. So how did I figure out what was the problem? I saw that in the output said that I had 65 meshes. And so it was like, okay, that was kind of weird. Okay. And then I figured out, okay, oh shit, I put the capacity of meshes 64. And the reason I put that such a small number is, because when I was working on the engine a year or 2 years ago, I just put those numbers as sort of testing numbers, right? I didn't really care about having, a huge number of meshes and stuff. And then yesterday, I figured that out. I increased the mesh capacity, and then it worked. And then when I figured out what was the problem, I converted the whole initialization method into instead of using a bunch of parameters, which was the case. Let me show you the difference in Git. Come on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so asset capacity. That's it. So as you can see here, I used to have. Can you zoom in? Nope. Is it possible to zoom in? I don't see. Ignore white space. I don't see zooming in. Okay, maybe it's possible in settings. Oh, this text is huge, and the inside text is like, oh, font size. What about 16? Oh yes, this is better. Okay. So yeah. This is what I used to have. I used to have these integers for each of the capacity: mesh capacity, texture capacity, shader capacity, material capacity. And then in the main, where I was actually initializing everything, as you can see, I put 64. No, wait, this is physics. It was this. I initialized 64, 64, 16. And when you write things like this in C++ and in many other languages, you have no idea what these numbers mean until you actually hover over. So yeah, I completely forgot about this. I just, I would see this line that says assets init 64, 64, 16, 64, And I was like, okay, I don't know, that's maybe not a problem. I totally forgot what it actually does. So instead of this thing, instead of passing these individual ints to the function, I actually converted all that into a struct, and I actually since renamed that to init parameters. So now these init parameters by default have these sizes. So they will be 128, 64, 16, 64, but you can override them. So anytime before you initialize, you can actually override the initialization parameters from your game. So yeah, I think that's, yeah, one more thing is that I figured out that I really prefer using this struct for parameters method instead of having multiple how do you call them, arguments for the functions, because you can so easily extend them. So if I need another number, I can just add something, right? And I can put the default value. And then the thing is that, you know, if I had parameters in a function, I would have to change the signature of the function. Like I would need to put int something something, and then I would need to go to the C++ file, and let me just undo this. I would have to go to the C++ file and then also modify the function signature here. So, you know, I would have to like add a thing, whatever. I would have to add an int here. So yeah, using structs is much easier for those things. And I actually realized that a lot of libraries use that. For example, Vulkan. I remember when I was doing this Vulkan tutorial. It also has this kind of method of just having structs for all the properties. It has a struct for whatever, setting up a context for your GPU context, and then you basically set up everything. And the cool thing about it, another cool thing about having structs for parameters, is that if you just want to use the defaults, like here, if you want to use the defaults, you can just say, you can just use this, and that means it will create a object, right? It will create a struct with those default parameters like this ones. Or if you wanted to specify, you could say asset manager, what is it? Init params, and then you can do that. And then you say params dot, change a single thing, for example, 124, and then you pass those params in here. So yeah, you can like change just a single thing, and that's it's much more practical than having optional parameters. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, those are some C++ tricks for you, and C, because this also works in C. You can pass structs just fine. But yeah, I figure out now, after working for such a long time in C++ now, I figure out now why people hate C++ so much. Because the additional of optional parameters, for example, and stuff, it's kind of not a benefit if you can just do this with structs, right? You can do the same thing with structs. So optional parameters don't really add anything new. And that's C++ has a lot of these things. It adds a lot of new things, but actually you didn't really have to have those new things. And even the new things have a lot of problems. So then they try to patch the new things with even more new things, and that's why they made the language so complex. Anyway, let's go back to our Blender and try to make light maps for other stuff. So yeah, this is the mountain I was talking about. You see that this part is black, and before yesterday it used to look like something like this. So it was like shadowing the whole town. But now the town is actually nicely lit. Thanks for the explanation. Yeah. But yeah, and one more thing about the problem that I had yesterday. Of course, because so the problem kind of is that I'm using STD vectors, right? Which will resize automatically if you push new stuff in it. So the thing is that I did have meshes capacity, but if you try to put more things than these exist, right? If you try to push more things, like, you know, I had a 64 big vector of meshes, and then it became 65 long, and what happens then is that the memory for that vector is going to be reallocated to a different position, to a different location. But the thing is that I'm using everything, all the meshes are basically just pointers towards that index in the vector. So the vector moved somewhere else in memory, right? And then the meshes were in a completely different location, and my old location was incorrect, so that's why it was crashing. So either it was crashing because, of course, there was a memory error. The operating system realized that you're not using this memory anymore because it reallocated to a different place, or it just worked, but everything was white because OpenGL was looking for, for meshes to render at a completely wrong place. So yeah, that's a short explanation for what happened. Anyway, so yeah, that's and that all stems from the fact that I don't actually have my engine doesn't have a real way to connect things through IDs. You know, most games actually will have some kind of an ID that then you're gonna have some kind of a sort of like how Unity uses GUIDs, kind of the engine IDs to attach objects to their assets, so to their materials or sounds, audio clips, or meshes. But yeah, mine, it just uses indexes of vectors, right, of the arrays. So yeah, I don't have the ability to move memory around actually. So yeah, you have to kind of pre-allocate all the at least the array that holds information about the meshes. You could add meshes on the fly, and then it will allocate new space for like the vertex buffers and stuff. But this has nothing to do with the buffers. This has only to do with information about meshes, which mesh is which, how do you call them, vertex array object on the GPU and stuff like that. So yeah, it was an interesting thing to solve. And one more important thing that I added yesterday is, of course, that now when you're creating new meshes, when you're adding meshes to the list of meshes, I assert if the size of meshes is less than the capacity. If, of course, it is not, it will crash, at least in debug build. So yeah, at least now I know that this is a problem. Okay, so that's the explanation about the bug that I had. And yeah, another interesting thing that I have. Okay, let me start the game again. I'm sorry for delaying the light map thing. Okay, so one more thing. Well, I have to drive all the way down. You know what? Nothing. I'll add that after I release because I don't have time now. So yeah, last night I discovered another bug and on the stream, and it was very funny. after I loaded these additional houses, I encountered a new bug, which is that you can exit the game through the door. Yeah. If you, right, you're driving around, and, you know, it just drives fine. Wait, let me remove the... You're driving around the town, everything is fine, but then you come to the door of the house, of this one, and then you do this. And the game crashes. So, you can exit the game through the door. And I'm not exactly sure what... So what happens there is that the game... there's something wrong with the physics. Okay, I don't think it's my problem. I think it's a problem with Bullet. It's trying to like normalize a zero-sized vector for some reason. So I don't know exactly what's the problem. Maybe it's the mesh. Maybe Bullet just doesn't like my mesh. It has like a zero-sized normal or something. But yeah, I know that there's a problem there. But the funny thing is, it only works on the doors, and not on the windows or anything else. So I have no idea why. I looked at the mesh, and I was like, huh, there's something wrong with the door. Is there like a double, you know, like a double polygon or something? I did like this mesh cleanup and stuff. You can go here, delete loose. No, there's nothing loose there. I did a merge all the vertices. No, there's nothing merged. So I have no idea. There's what causes that. It's just something weird. But yeah, it's a very nice accidental feature. Very polite bug. Only uses doors. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's just a curiosity. I don't know if that bug is going to remain in the game or not, because it's kind of random. So maybe if I export next time, it's not gonna be in the game. So like it's an uncontrollable bug. So yeah, the log doesn't even show me anything. So about the light maps. Where is the vertex color? I should not have actually touched this. Yeah, so as you can see, these houses don't have vertex colors, and it's because I don't have color attributes, which in this case, as you can see here, it's a light map. It's a light map. That's how I called it. And in some of the other objects, it's just called call. So I guess the name doesn't really matter. But the thing is that I need to add this color attributes every time for every house. What if I select all the objects? Okay, let me try something. If I have multiple objects like this, so when you create a new object in Blender, it doesn't actually add color attributes, which makes sense. But because, you know, why would you have additional data if you don't need it? But if you go into vertex paint mode, it will automatically create a color attribute, so you can paint it. But the thing is that does that actually add color to the other objects? It doesn't. So it only adds to the active object, and that's very, very annoying. So that's one problem, that you have to go to every object and then add a color attribute. Wait, actually it's more easy to do it like this. Here, you know, I add one. Yeah, it's very annoying. That's one thing. And the other thing is that for some reason in new versions of Blender, baking into vertex color does not clear the last render. And I don't know if that is actually, if you can actually set it up or not. So if I go into vertex mode, right, you can see that if I need to change to cycles as well to be able to bake. So if you say bake, select it to output, active color attribute, yeah, and it doesn't actually give you, I think old versions of Blender before, I don't know, 3.1 or something like that, I think they actually had an option to clear your attributes. And unfortunately, it doesn't give you this option. So, if you click on bake, you can see that it got a little bit darker, right? The whole thing got a little bit darker. And if you continue baking multiple times, it is going to get darker and darker and darker and darker, right? There's going to be more contrast. And that is because it multiplies colors with the old color. So it doesn't clear the bake. What you have to do is if you want to clear, you have to go to vertex paint and then say paint and set vertex colors to kind of clear all the colors. And now you can rebake. So yeah, that is very annoying. That's very annoying that you have to do that for everything. So what I was thinking is maybe I should make a quick script to do that. So, I want to just try something. Do geometry nodes maybe have baking? Bake? They don't have baking. Yeah, so it's not gonna work. Okay. So let's not use geometry nodes. Instead, I'm gonna make a little Python script. So interesting, doing Python scripts on the streams, because why not? So let me actually add somewhere here so that I don't need to switch objects. So I'm gonna say bake, no, let's say clear bake or something like this. Clear bake.py. Okay. So what I want to do, I want to go to scripting. I'm gonna create a new thing called a new workspace called scripting. And what we can do here is that I can create a new template. There should be templates, right? Template, Python. Operator, it should be an operator. Gizmo operator, object, mesh UV, timer, view 3D. Operator simple. I think it should be a operator simple. Okay, let's make a simple operator. Okay, cool. So we have the simple operator, which I'm actually going to copy this and put it in here so that I don't use this awful, god-awful text editor provided by Blender. It's not that bad, it just doesn't have any autocomplete, and yeah, it's Python is much better. Sorry, VS Code is much better. Yeah, you didn't know there were templates. Yes, there are templates, and you have stuff. You have for everything. You can make your exporters. You can, yeah. So, yeah, you can do this thing. And what this template in particular does is that it will register an operator. So what does that do? what that does is that it adds an ability to have your operator as a function that you can search. So it doesn't give you any kind of UI. You don't add it to the panel because actually creating a panel like this or like this one actually I made. This is a utility for my attribute conversion. It's very annoying. It's very annoying because for each of these buttons you have to register 5 different things, and it's very annoying to just having to add everything. If you want to just add one button, you have to add things to 5 different places. I wish they somehow simplified how it works. But yeah, operators are fairly simple. So operators are basically this. You can say, I don't know, copy material, and there you go. You can copy materials, which is actually part of a plugin, material utilities. So it gives you an ability to search for an operator that you can then apply immediately. So yeah, let's do something, and I'm gonna change the name of this from simple operator into clear bake operator. I found a cool add-on to make buttons for scripts to assign a button and a hotkey. Yeah, if there is a way to make it simpler, that would be, yeah. I don't know. I don't know this add-on, but it would be nice to have an ability. Because even for these operators, you have to register and unregister them, right? And you can very easily make a mistake. That's the thing. So I can say, so if I say like clear bake operator, I have to actually put that everywhere, right? I have to make sure that this thing says clear bake operator. So yeah, you can actually just search and replace. But sometimes, it will replace something else that you weren't hoping for. But yeah, let's do this. Is this no? This is a match. Replace. That's it. Oh, and there's also this one. Oh my god. Test call. Okay, and there's also this, which needs to be clear bake operator. Yeah, so it needs to change there, and that's it. Okay, and now there's a description, which says just simple object operator. Okay, clear baked color operator. Something like that, I don't know. Anyway, so what are we gonna do there? So what this does is that it registers our operator, and then it adds a menu function to the what is this view empty object? So I think view is actually this. This is the menu, which we don't actually need to do, right? We just need to submit to the search. But I will leave it. What is this menu func? Oh no. Menu func. Clear bake operator. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of things to add, to register. So poll. What is this poll thing? Context active is not none. Oh, I guess this is just a check like before. You have to make sure that the this is kind of like a test. Make sure that an object is active, right? But you can kind of actually even do that in the execute part. So yeah, what is this main context? Oh no, why does it put a function outside? I don't understand. Why does it put a function outside of execute? Why not just do that here? It's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't understand that. you should just be able to do this. It's just kind of a completely useless redirection, in my opinion. So yeah, if we run this, well, for each scene object. Okay, so what do we do? So let's see. I want to go to scripting, and I'll make a cube. Okay, I'm gonna add a color attribute, and I'm gonna make it white. So when I press OK, this happens. Color attribute add, right? This happens, which I'm going to copy and put it here. What the hell happened? Okay, I'm gonna put it here. So for each object, let's call it obj, just because I don't like ob. For each object, I don't need to print object. I'm gonna add a color attribute, but only if a color attribute doesn't exist. So how do we make sure that a color doesn't exist? We could do it like this. No. Let's see. Color attribute, ops geometry. So there should be. Yeah. So what happens if I remove? Ops geometry color all attribute remove. Oh, I see. So actually, you can remove the attributes. But how do I check if it doesn't? Yeah. So the most important thing here is that I do create a new color attribute with a color. And can you actually name it? Does it exist? Oh yeah, I don't have introspection here. So I'm gonna have to Google, unfortunately. Introspection, I meant autocomplete. So, attribute add, name, there it is. Color attribute adds. There it is. Okay, name domain data type color. Right. So you can say name. Well, let's add a name, which is going to be called light map. Right. But first, I'm gonna check if object dot. Oh, right. The thing is that this is actually going to only affect the active object. That's how how Blender works. It only operates on active objects. So first, I have to make the current object active. And the way you do it is you have to make it, I think, active object is object, right? I think it's like this, if I remember correctly. So you use this active object as an object, right? So yeah, when you're looping through all objects, you have to make your object in the loop active, and then you can affect anything that concerns it. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have I have to check object data Python. Yeah, you have to, you basically, when you want to search for something in code in Blender, you just Google Blender API, object data colors, or something like that. How to set color object, paint operations, object data, object. Okay, data access. I think maybe it's this data access. Internal data for object, print object name. Okay. Object data meshes. Meshes, okay. Meshes remove, okay. Right, it keeps all the images separately, but I need to remember Okay, vertex color. Let's do vertex color. How can I set and get the vertex color property? Blender does have a non-Python way. Okay, object mesh vertex colors. Mesh vertex color active. Okay, can you, what if I add multiple things? Okay, and then I switch. What? What is this? Data meshes cube dot null. Okay, this doesn't make any sense. It's definitely not that. Oh, there it is. Color layer. I think it is a color layer. Vertex colors. Yeah, okay, let's Google again. Object get vertex colors. I'm gonna say how to print access vertex color data. Type is mesh. Okay, loops. Object data. Okay, so it is just .data .vertex colors. Okay, so let's actually just try to print this. Object data data .vertex colors. So yeah, let's say print this. And let's try. What's the length operator for Blender? Is it len? Okay, I keep forgetting when you're working between different programming languages. I always. Oh, it is a len. Okay, so that should be it. So print the length. Why does this work? What does it say? Wow. Ah, it was not closed. Okay, so let's try this without actually running this. I just want to see. Let's actually print the name of the object first. Print object name, data vertex colors, length of vertex colors. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's try running this. Let's call this actually. Let me add Notke to this by Notke, just because it might be easier to search for it in the menu. So what am I gonna do now? I'm going to just copy this into here and then run. And if I run, I get an error which says, what does it say? Oh, I need to open the console. So it says active object is read only. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay, clearly I don't know how to make it an active object. Set active object. There it is. Context scene objects active. Context scene objects active. That should be it, right? Scene objects active object. Okay. What's the problem now? Attribute active not found. Okay, so maybe this is just an old... Oh, with Python it's better. Context view layer. Ah, view layer. Context view layer. Maybe it's this. View layer. Okay, what's the problem now? Okay, it's a different. Sunlight objects is no attribute vertex colors. Ah, well, it's not even selected. For each... Oh, I'm just looping through all objects. Okay. How do I get selected objects? Blender. Blender, get selected objects. Context, selected objects. So why is this context and not a view layer? I'm really confused about these things in Blender. Like here, to get active object, you have to go through the view layer objects active, but here, you just say selected objects. But I don't know, maybe this is bad as well. Maybe this is a wrong version. That's another problem with scripting in Blender. Everything is a different version, right? You have to make sure that... Oh, it works. So we got something correct. So there it is. We have an object, cube 001, which is my cube. There it is. Perfect. So cube 001 at something. Is this a memory address? I don't know. BPI collection 2 loop colors. So there's 2 color attributes which exist. There it is. Perfect. Okay, so and the end it says 2. Here is our 2, which is only the number of vertex colors. Perfect. Okay, so I have to check that. I have to say if length of object data vertex colors is more than is 0, then do this. Right? Create a new vertex color which is light map. Otherwise, I want to clear all the colors of this of the attributes. Or should I just delete them? I don't know. So what is exactly vertex colors, right? What is colors? What does it say? It's a collection of loop colors. So what is Python loop colors? It's a type that has an active okay, a collection of vertex colors. Okay, so how do you make a certain... How can you set a color? Can you? Okay, what if I just output the colors 0, right? What if I do this, right? And yeah, we can do this. Ah, it broke. Did it break? I think it did. Ah, it broke because I didn't continue. Oh, there is an error. I think so. Yep, there is some kind of an error. Okay, let's try again. It says object of type Mesh loop color layer has no length. Oh, right, because I'm trying to output a length. Interesting. So, it doesn't have a length, but I can still output the object. No, I can't, because object of type bool has no length. What? How is vertex colors 0 a bool? Add a vertex color layer. Remove layer. Remove a vertex color layer. How is it possible? So this vertex colors is a type of loop colors, but a single object is a bool. What? Okay, am I missing something here? The object of type bool has no length. Oh, it's this. This is the problem. I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. Okay. Okay, so what is its output? Mesh loop color layer. Okay, it's a single color layer. But what is actually a mesh loop color layer? There it is. A layer of vertex colors in a mesh data block sets the layer as active for display and data. Okay, so loop colors remove. So what is actually the data? A loop mesh color. Oh, it's a read only. How can you actually set? Okay, what does Python say about setting vertex colors? Blender set vertex color. Blender API. How can I set and get a vertex color property? Setting vertex color view. Okay, I think I actually already color layer. Okay, colors. Color layer data. There it is. Color layer. It's color layer data. What the hell? Oh, right, because it's loops. It's loop based. Sets to vertex pane mode to see the result. Ah, you know what? Can you actually just set fill the vertices with so what happens here, right? If I do a a vertex paint, and then I say paint No, it is vertex paint. Vertex paints. Paint. Set vertex colors. So is this going to work if I just say this? So if I say else, and I say BPY ups paints vertex color set. Huh? Is this going to work? Let's see. So yeah, let me change to red so that we can see. Okay, I'm gonna save this for later. Okay, I have this and I say set. Oh! What does it say? So many errors. Context is incorrect. Yeah, the thing is that you have to actually set it into a vertex paint mode. So when I do this, now it works. Okay, so it does work, but you need to set the vertex paint mode. Paint toggle, right? But I don't want to toggle. Ups paint. Okay, well let's see where this takes us. Vertex paint toggle. Vertex paint and toggle. Okay, can you set it? Fill the active vertex color. No. Toggle the vertex paint mode in 3D view. I don't want to toggle it. That's the thing. I want to set it. So what does toggle actually do? Does it get out of the mode? Because that would mean the toggle, that means going out of the mode. Right, as you can see, it did went out. So how can I check if I am in the modes or not? Paint a stroke. I hate the Python API. There's so many things that don't make any sense. Check if in object mode or something. If in paint mode, I don't know. How do you even... You can toggle. The thing is that like you can toggle a paint mode, but how do you even check if you're in the paint mode or what's the mode you're in? Python API check which modes. Is in edit mode. Know when edit mode is entered by script. In your modal operator, you can text object mode for which mode the object is in. Okay, so there's this object mode set. Enter edit mode. But why is it per object thing? Why isn't it just the state of the entire scene? This is what annoys me. Mode set. Sets the object interaction mode. BPY context modes, yeah. Okay, so the context does have a mode. But why is it in per object thing? That's what why does an object have a mode as well? It's weird. But yeah, let's try what you say. Like if context mode dot mode, there it is. Default edit mesh. Hey, it's read only. Context mode items. Okay, so paint vertex. There it is. I guess I need to check for paint vertex. If it is not, is this not in Python, or is it Python not using the not? I keep forgetting this. Between languages, do you say not, or do you say, or is it this, or is it not? Tell me, please. Python operators. Comparison, arithmetic, Boolean. No, comparison. Oh, there it is. It is a not equal. So this should work, right? So if it is not a vertex mode, turn on the vertex mode. So when it turns on the vertex mode, then if the object doesn't have colors, add a color which names light map. If it doesn't, set a vertex, set a paint, but first I'm gonna set brushes to be white, like this. Why is this draw thing? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Okay, everything worked. So let's try to put a color. Let's make it red, and I'm gonna paint slightly this cube. I'm gonna go to the object mode, and then I'm gonna run this script. And the script has successfully made all the colors white. Perfect. Okay, so this works, right? But what if I don't have any colors, right? If I don't have any colors in the cube, I'm gonna run this script, and it fails. It fails. Why does it fail? Why does it fail? Why does it fail? Index error. Prop collection index. Line 23. Line 23. Because I'm trying to output this, of course. It doesn't exist. This was just for a test. Okay. So let me try this. So if an object doesn't have colors, it will create a new color array, except it did not name them light map. Why not? Face corner byte color. Okay. Should it be byte color? Yeah, it is byte color. Okay. I don't know why. It should have named it light map. So I'm not exactly sure why. But okay. So what if I have multiple objects? Some that have colors, some that don't, and some of the colors are painted in weird colors like blue. And I select all of them. And then I say do the script. And what happened is all of them have color attributes now, and all of them are white. Perfect. Okay, so the script works. And what I'm gonna do now is that instead of running this script, I'm gonna, there should be actually clear baked operator by Nothk. There's many of them because we didn't unregister them. Perfect. Yes, great. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so actually what we're gonna do now is I'm going to revert, and I'm going to now there should be, there's still multiple scripts. Let's restart Python. I think then the plugins will unregister it themselves. So if I go to Nothk, there it is. There's nothing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add it as a plugin. Can I do that? It doesn't have a header. Yes. Doesn't have a plugin header. So I'm not sure if you can actually add, I forgot, how do you actually add a plugin? Oops, not sculpting. I want scripting. Add-on, add object. Yeah, there it is. So this is the add-on. And so yeah, I'm gonna add this into my info clear baked operator for Shakedown game. Hashtag, of course. Your name here. What's my name? Nothk. Version 1. Blender. Who cares? Location. Oh, that's totally unnecessary. Description. Clear baked color. Warning. No warning. Category. Vertex color. I don't know. Something like this. Anyway, yes. So now what we can do is we can add that as a plugin. If I go to the preferences, I go to install, and I go to my little this thing, which is my N-Engine dev. Actually, let me put it into a folder. New folder. How do you add that? Here. Blender plugins. I'm gonna move that here. Are you sure you want to move? Yes. So, I'm gonna go here to my CPP, where are you, CPP? All right, it is actually in projects, just in CPP. And engine, Blender plugins, there it is. And now there it is, vertex color, clear baked for Shakedown game. If I turn it on, I should now have it as Nothk. There it is, clear baked operator. So I don't need the scripting thing anymore. I can delete it. And now, moment of truth. Let's see if this works. So I call here and I say clear baked color. There it is. It has cleared it. Okay, so let's try it for multiple objects now. And yeah, let's actually select all the houses. All the houses. This thing. The entire town. The entire town. Oh, there are some test cubes as well. So if you select the entire town, I say clear baked, and it didn't clear. Oh, I think it's because I need to have the active object. Oh, right. So that's Paul. I see. So, hey, that's Paul. So yeah, because I didn't have active objects, I only had selected objects, right? I did this without having an active object. And I tried to go, oh wait, I do have an active object now. Well, unfortunately. Okay, maybe this. Oh, it still works. Yeah, but if you don't have an active object and it says Paul, there's no active object, it's going to gray out your operator. So that's good to know. Let's try it. There it is. It has cleared except for the ground. But yeah, it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to bake the ground. And then I can go. So if I select each of the objects, I can see that there's color attributes now. And it has added to each of the objects. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. So I select all of them. And now I can bake. And the bake is in progress. Individual objects are getting baked. Cool. There it is. Everything is getting baked. Nice. Successful. Successful plugin making. Cool. So next time I want to bake, I can just do this, clear baked objects, and then do it again. So yeah, there. Some live object scripting on the stream. I hope you like that. People clap. Okay, well, thank you. So yeah, I have baked these houses now. Yeah, well, you know what? Now, since we have all this, I can actually use it for other objects as well. I can try this. Maybe not everything, but let's try at least some of them. I can say clear baked objects. There it is. And there is some overlapping objects, whatever this is. So I guess I didn't clean up this part yet, which is weird. What is this? Is this actually Monty Roads? Oh, right. So it is a correct object. Is it? Yeah, it is. I didn't separate it. I didn't clean up these meshes yet. Okay. So, these objects I actually cleaned up. Oh, it did actually save and undo of the colors, which is very, very useful. So I cleared. I'm going to bake shadows for each of these objects. There we go. And now we have some nice shadows. Interestingly, these are per polygon. They're not combined. This is kind of weird. So what does this say? Byte color, face corner, and are they actually merged? They are merged. Okay. Are they shaded smooth? Let's try again. Interesting. I don't know why this looks so sharp when it should actually like be a bit smooth. Like this is super smooth here in between the vertices share face corners, but this one doesn't for some reason. Is there something wrong with the... No, it is the same object. Interesting. That's weird. I don't like this inconsistency. And why is this... This should be in the shadow. Because the sun is over there. And, you know, the direction is actually... Why is this lit? Is this, like, wrong, pointing in the wrong direction or something? This is a weird polygon. Just ends here. Maybe if I cut this... like this. What do you say now? Still bad. That's really strange. Okay, what if I just do that on a... What if I do that on a sphere? Just a simple sphere. Oh. Oh no, this is awful. It is shaded smooth, right? Okay, so smoothing does matter, right? Smoothing does matter. Definitely. So is this not smooth? Do I maybe have some kind of automatic bending? How do you call it? Automatic normals. I don't. So it should actually render smooth. No, I don't want... It does render smooth. So why does it then have this weird thing? I don't know. Is it because it's casting a shadow? I'm not exactly sure. Okay, so let's... I'm sure if you use per vertex instead of face corner, it would be smooth. Yeah, but the problem is that I'm not sure if it exports correctly. Let me try. Okay, so if I remove this, I'm gonna add per vertex color, white, per vertex white. And let's use byte color. Okay. Whoops. Okay. And I do a bake. And it's totally black. So there's something wrong with this. Okay. So, yeah, I think there's something. So, here's the thing. Here's the thing. The per vertex colors were added a few versions ago in Blender. And I think it's very new and very broken. So that's why it doesn't really work, the blend. Although, even though I submitted some bug reports to Blender. Like, if you go to Blender bug, there it is. I think it is this one, maybe. There was this denoising blog. Oh, they did close it. Archived. Is this the one that I submitted? No, it's not that one. Blender vertex color bug. Why am I searching Blender on the Blender site? So yeah, there was a bug that I submitted about these per vertex colors that didn't export correctly using the GLTF exporter. But this is a different thing. I think that yeah, this has to do with baking. So if I add wait a minute, what happened? What happened? Why doesn't it work? Oh, it does work. Okay, so baking into a classic per corner vertex color. Okay, so now that doesn't work either. What the hell happened? So even if I put a face corner, okay, what did I do? Have I done something terrible? Have I done something terrible? Did I turn off a sun or something? So it is completely black. Cool. Nice. Nice. Maybe I should just revert. Because I have no idea what I did. Okay, so does it work now? It does work now, except for the problems. So yeah, I don't know. There's some problem. Let's try again while I'm still here. Let's make this white. Okay, and let's bake. And you see it's black again. So there's something wrong here. Which I'm not exactly sure what. It doesn't have to do something with a name. I hope it doesn't. If I make a new thing called just color and I bake and it's black. Why the hell is it black? Okay, what if I rename this to light map? Yeah, now I have to clear it. Okay. There's something related to the name that I'm not sure. Okay, so let's try with the name. I think light, the thing is that I'm using this name for shaders, but I'm not exactly sure why, because this is not related to shaders. This should be a specific view that is only flat and only has vertex colors. So if I have this, and then I have to rename it to light map, I bake it. Oh, there it is. So now it works. Okay, let's try exporting with this, but I'm not sure if it is going to work right? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, let me actually try exporting. Models, Monty Roads. Need to use the N-Engine preset. Is everything okay? Okay, let me run the game from my CVP. Okay. So is there color on the mountain? There is. Okay, I can't see this. Can't see anything. Let's push back the fog. Okay. Yeah, there is some darkening. Is it correct, the darkening? So this mountain should actually be completely black. But for some reason it's not. So I'm not... Okay. Well, you can see that there's some weird colors over here. So, you know what? I think it's actually completely broken. I think it's probably you know, instead of... It's kind of like instead of 4 components, you have... Well, yeah, of course it makes sense. So the problem is that... yeah. Thing is... Do I have any object by the name not found? Recompiling shaders. No. Oh, warning! Primitive of mesh cube is no material. Okay. And rendering as magenta. I didn't even see anything magenta. Interesting that it doesn't actually inform me about wrong. So yeah, the problem actually here that I'm having right now is that I'm using color instead of byte color, as you can see, and so it's a different size of how do you say, a different number size, right? It's not a byte. I think it's 16 or 32 bits, maybe 32 bit floats or something like that. So actually what I'm trying to do is I'm loading a 32 bits into a color. So that's why it's weird. But surprisingly it works, so it doesn't crash. Yeah, and my engine can only load byte color right now. It doesn't actually check. So in the GLTF file, you can actually check what format the color is. But I'm not actually checking. I'm just bypassing it. I'm just like, who cares if it's wrong? Just load it as bytes. So yeah, what if I actually just make it vertex but have byte color? Is that going to work? And make it named light map. Okay, and let's bake it now. Mesh does not have an active color attribute. Interesting. It does. So, oh, I was selecting everything. So yeah, no, this one. Byte color, bake. Okay, cool. Okay, I have this. Let's try to export Monty Roads. And I'm gonna load it now. You know what? Let's just put this as a shortcut here. Can I do that? No, I have to drag it like this. How do I even add it? Whoops, I don't want to do that. Can I add it here? No? It doesn't matter. I'm using this Windows 98 skin, by the way. So yeah, let's see. Does it work? Is the mountain black? It is. I think it is, except I can't really see it because of a frame buffer. It is. So it does actually work. So this was a problem with older versions of Blender. They didn't export per vertex color. But now it works. Look at that. Cool. So I can actually use per vertex color, which is great. Nice. So yeah, I should probably move almost everything to the per vertex color. But does actually clearing work? What if I say... What if I now clear this? Clear objects. Oh, it did actually make a new light map. Ah, you see. Now I have to change my script. Now I have to change my script. So, the problem here is that vertex colors are probably not compatible with the new vertex colors that do have. Oh. Yeah. So everything is more complicated now. But I don't know why it doesn't bake into like whatever. I think I'm gonna check it later so that I don't waste so much time on doing this. But yeah, let's actually check out what the color looks like. It seems like it's the default. Yeah, but the thing is that, yeah, the problem is that I'm checking here. So here's the thing. I'm checking if length of vertex colors is 0, right? And then add color. But even if our attributes exist, it's still going to add a new one. So obviously, the new non-corner based color maps. Sorry, not color maps, but vertex colors are not considered this old style vertex colors. Oh, there's the purple things. Magenta. Oh, it's those cubes that I use for testing, which I completely forgot to remove. Yeah, and they're collidable, so cool. I did this for testing and then they just remained. Okay, let me push the color a bit. Fog. Okay. So that we can see the town. Why does this house not have vertex colors though? When we did bake vertex color for it. That's strange. Oh, I did forget to rebake, I guess. Oh yeah, I reverted. That's the problem. So yeah, let's rebake. My console says BPY ops geometry color attribute adds color attributes. That's the same thing I did. That's exactly the same thing I did. But what if you do a per vertex? Try the per vertex instead of per edge corner. color attributes. Yeah. So you see, data.color attributes, I think, are different than vertex colors. I think the vertex colors are legacy, basically. That's the problem. So yeah, what if I color attributes? Yeah. Let me check the houses first. Cool. So they're dark, as you can see. Oh, and the wall is actually lit, which is a new thing. The wall wasn't lit before. And it's kind of weirdly, yeah, it has like shading on the top, which is probably because of the vertices that it's touching. Yeah, it is kind of weird. It does look cool. Even this boring house with no texture looks better now. But yeah, the windows are totally black because it's shading the two vertices on the side. But yeah, I think it would be better if I don't actually bake shadows. But if I could bake some GI or something. Diffuse, not diffuse. What if I do combined? Yeah, and it's completely black. I think I had a problem with this before. That I tried to make oh yeah, it will actually use the color of the house. Which I wish it didn't. Okay, what about yeah. If it doesn't use direct, yeah, then it will use colors from the texture. And if it doesn't use this, yeah, the problem is that it doesn't give me only the lighting. What's environment? Yeah, I think it's just an ambient color. Anything else? Ambient occlusion. What does ambient occlusion give me? Okay, well, it does kind of shade slightly. What happens if I bake ambient occlusion of all the town things? What it is gonna look like? Not that bad. Yeah, it would be nice to combine ambient occlusion with shadows, to be honest. Or something like that. Normal, UV, roughness, emit, environment, diffuse, glossy. It would be nice to only be able to bake GI. And not, you know, the shadow is too dark. Shadow is too binary, kind of. Unless I do like a very, very soft shadow. Yeah, let me actually try with ambient occlusion. How does that look? Hello, Holy Moose, by the way. I feel like environment should be that, but apparently not. Yeah, I'm not sure. You know what? Let me actually put a so that I don't need to turn around every time. Let me put where is my position? Save start position. Set start position. Yeah, I think that is actually saved. Or I'm not exactly sure. Save parameters to file. Okay. That actually looks nice. Ambient occlusion. But yeah, it would be nice to actually combine shadows and ambient occlusion somehow. Except for those overlapping edges, of course. Even these boxes look cool, except they don't have a texture, so that's why they can't be rendered. Okay, so now if I start, I should start next to the houses. Yeah, good. Okay, so I think that shadow is still the best. Shadow. Okay, so I can like bake this over. Ambient occlusion, so I have both. Yeah, and of course, let's remove these boxes. And you know what? One of the problems in my in my script is that I move into this oh shit, I'm actually doing this in a for loop. I don't need to do that. I can do it outside. Move into the vertex paint mode. So yeah, let's toggle out of it at the end, so that I don't have to do it every time. And the poll is going to be if selected objects selected objects is more than 0, right? Len. And what else did I want to do? I wanted to try to get attributes instead of vertex color. So what did Axio say? My console says ppyops geometry color attribute add, no, not that. Active object data color attributes. Data dot data color attributes. Mesh ID color attributes. Geometry color attributes. Attribute property collection of attribute group. Attribute group is color index. Is there any kind of a type? New. Ah, there it is. So attribute type items. What is that? The main type of element that attribute is stored on. Is there any example? Attribute domain items. Yeah, so it can be point, edge, face, corner, curve, instance. So what happens if you add what happens if I add this? What does the console say? Not this. Console doesn't say anything. Okay, I guess I need to go to the scripting console. What does it say? Color attribute add. Oh, well, there's no options there. That's kind of weird. Yeah, you know, I think what I need to do is I need to check, instead of using vertex colors, I need to check color attributes. So let's try that. Color attributes. Okay. And now I have to, let's delete this one. And let's try to export. No, wait, I have to reload the add-on. What's the name of it? Nothke something. Vertex color, there it is. Delete this, and then I have to reinstall. That's how you have to. It's annoying way to install add-ons. You have to unregister them, then install new one, re-register. Okay, so if I do a clear now, okay, what does the add-on say? It says nothing, which is good. It did not actually rebuild my. Did it clean it? That's the only thing that I want to see. So if I bake, oh, I have the same problem again. Amazing. Which I have no idea what was the problem. Yeah, so if I clear the color, great. So now it clears the color and it doesn't create a new light map. So yeah, it is because. So let's try on the old ones. Does it work? Does it still work? Yeah, it still works. Perfect. Okay, and it still works on different objects. No, it doesn't work on different objects. Why? Why doesn't it work? Why doesn't it work? Great, I fucked up something. What does it say? Failed. Context is incorrect. Which one? Vertex color set. Didn't I just enter paint vertex here? And then I went through each selected object. And then so what? You can't test attributes? Is that an issue? What's the line? Line 113. Well, it's not here. Some different line. Wait. Runtime error. Poll failed. Color set. What? Where is this? Line 37. Okay. Line 37. Vertex color set. Yeah, so why? So it says it's incorrect mode. But it should be in the okay, if I'm in the vertex paint mode. Oh yeah, I can't even use this. So it does work on individual objects. It just doesn't work on multiple objects. So this tells me the problem was actually this, that I moved this outside of the for each. So let's just do this. Maybe I move it here. Okay, I think it works now. Yeah. Okay, so I have no idea, but it looks like it maybe automatically goes outside of the paint vertex mode. And then you have to enter the paint vertex mode again. Yeah, whatever. Let's revert after doing all this shit. Okay, so what I can do now is I can totally just create a light map that uses vertex byte color and call it light map. And now I can bake with that thing in mind, and I can clear it. And it won't create a new one. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, I can freely bake. I can also clear this. I can take all the town. I can clear it, and I can rebake. This really inspires me to jump into Blender and try recreate some Monty villages. No idea what to use it for, but it seems like fun. It seems like my streams always inspire you to to work on your game. Especially when you're solving my bullet problems or whatever. Yeah. C++ in general. Yeah, let's actually remove these cubes because I don't need them. So, models. Monty Road. Okay, so all the objects now have not. Okay, well, this did not rebake. I forgot to rebake this one. And of course, this looks awful. So yeah, let's actually try to fix some of these problems. Maybe. So as you can see, there is this inconsistent lighting on the house. Yeah, and there is, what the hell is going on here? Is this vertex in the shadow of this house? Oh, I think it is. That's why it's like so broken. And okay, what if I just merge? Oh, yeah, there's a lot of things to merge. What if I rebake now? Well, it doesn't really help. So yeah, why is this vertex black? But only this inside. Is it just because of being in collusion with this house? No, there's some kind of an overlap there, for sure. Cool. Vertex problems. So maybe it's just like a weird vertex because there's so many things happening here. Let's try to maybe... Yeah. What if I just add vertices in between here? Okay, that actually helped it. So yeah, it doesn't like non-quad vertices, that's for sure. And this vertex is below ground. So yeah, thing is that I should always have some kind of an extension below ground instead of having it just sit on top. So maybe something like this, where I have one more piece below. And then when I bake that, these vertices are not below ground. Oh, but this one is. Okay, why is this one black now? I guess this one is just because it's behind this house. So if I add another one, this now blocks this house. Yeah, it is a bit darker. Ah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful and awful at the same time. Yeah, my decision to use vertex colors was not very good. If I just put this chimney slightly further, slightly away from this vertex, so that this vertex doesn't reside inside the chimney, it's probably going to be better. Yeah, as you can see, now this vertex is not black. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, it does add. This one is so weird. But yeah, we figured out that it is because it's missing these polygons. Yeah, this is better. And the thing is that I do need to have polygons over here below the roof, because so that not in the entire thing is black. Like if I do something like this, and now I'm not thinking about textures or anything. I'm just thinking about polygons. So if I put it like this, as you can see, it's much brighter because the large polygon is not there. Yeah, this is totally broken. So yeah, I need to actually redo polygons of the houses. Because yeah, I need to have everything like this, more like yeah, more quaddy. More quaddy rather than trianguli. Maybe like this. But now there's gonna be like a, you know, there's gonna be some fucked up stuff inside. Yeah, now it is better. So yeah, it just need to take care of where the polygons are. But it can look good. I think it can look good. And another issue is that this bottom thing also does not have a lot of polygons inside. So I have to make them. At the end, I'm gonna just like hand paint all the shadows. I think. Where is the what? What happened? Oh, there it is. Amazing. Why is it so bad? Oh, right, because I didn't merge them. That's why. Okay, so now there is more polygons here. Even though I did not place them precisely. Let me just triangulate this slightly. Why doesn't want to get cut? Did I use a layer? Yes, I did. What? Why doesn't it cut? Okay, so this works. Okay, I'm just gonna use the join. Okay, so let's do a vertex bake Clear, bake. Cool. There's some shadows from the houses now, which are totally sawtoothy and terrible, but yeah, at least it's kind of consistent or something. Yeah, and the problem is that this gutter is like exactly in front of a vertex, which makes the whole thing very dark here behind the gutter. So if I just move the gutter next to the vertex, it should bake completely differently, right? Yeah, now this wall is completely white. So yeah, you have to take care about each and every vertex, which sucks. Okay, so oh, 2.5 hours of stream. I should close slowly. Or maybe I can... Oh my god, it's 20 to 10 p.m. Just realized. Oh, these houses actually look pretty nice. Look at that. This kind of chimney at the edge gives me more of an like an English vibe than English house than French house vibe, but yeah. And the cool thing is that I can actually yeah, why can't I lock the mouse in a free view? I'm not exactly sure. Let me check this out. So where am I doing this? Camera. Camera mode onboard, smooth follow. Free. Okay, no clip cam. Default update. Free look true. Setting to false freezes rotation. No clip cam. Free look is how do I lock mouse? Input mouse button down. Ah. Yeah, let's actually use this. Let's use the same thing. And then I'm going to when the button is down, no clip cam, free look is true. On up, I'm gonna lock it so that you can view only while the right mouse button is pressed. Okay, so in the free view, yeah, cool. Now it won't rotate all the time. I need to hold the right click. to look around. Nice. So now, when I'm over here in the middle of the town, I can manipulate the rendering, the shadow, without the screen moving all the time. So yeah, that looks cool. I should add some variety to these houses. But you know what? I want to try something a bit different. I want to try to bake a little better GI. And I just want to try that, and I think that's going to be it for this stream. So I'm going to save this. And I just want to make a new scene. I'm going to make a cube and a little plane. Let's make some vertices, vertexes, something like this. Okay. Now I want to add, let's do the clear baked things. And when I go to cycles and I want to bake shadow. And I need a sun as well. Light, sun. Okay. So the shadows from the sun should now be visible. If I take flat and I say attributes, right? I bake this. Instead of image shadow, I'm gonna... Oh, look at this. Look at that thing. If you bake to image textures, it gives you an option to clear the image. But using an active color attribute doesn't actually give you an option to clear. That's weird. Yeah, Blender should definitely add that. So yeah, that's why I had to make this plugin. And there it is. There's my beautiful vertex color. But what I want to do is I want to make it render some ambient light instead of just shadow, because the shadow is boring. What I can do with the sun actually is I can increase the angle. If you increase the angle, it's going to have it's going to give you a bit like, you see the shadow is not that sharp, which is cool. Let me actually make it thinner and yeah, something like this. And maybe I can also make it a bit higher. So as you can see, this top vertex, this top side is dimmer, because the further the thing is from the sun, it's going to be more diffuse. If I actually lower the angle, if I make it 0, it's going to be very sharp. As you can see. So what you can do with this is that you can make a sort of like an overcast by just increasing the angle, right? If you put a 70 degrees angle, it's gonna make it, you know, very, very diffuse, as you can see. Oh, and look at that. even the inside of the cube is a bit is more white. So there are some like bounces, I think, in this shadow. But you still have that if you make like a tunnel or something. Like something like this. What a beautiful tunnel. You should still have darkness inside a tunnel. Let's actually make it all over the... And I want to subdivide it a bit more. Okay. Yeah, this is mesh. Okay, so the shadow here is very diffuse, but the shadow is quite strong. So you can do, yeah, there are no bounces actually, because it would be light inside them. So can you actually do some sort of bounces? If I, yeah, so what the Holy Moose suggested is using environment. So instead of shadow, if you use environment, what does it actually do? Yeah, it's gray, but it's gray because there's no environment. So the thing is that my environment right now is yeah, this is the environment option. It's super hidden in Blender. You have to Google it to find it. So yeah, it's like almost black, but it's kind of grayish. So if you make it white, it's just gonna then bake white, right? But yeah, there is no GI. It's just kind of the ambient color. That's the problem. If you add some environment, if you say use nodes, and then you use perhaps a sky, which is somewhere. Background. I think you have to use background. And then you go into the shading. And then you say, I don't want this, I want worlds. The shading is background, but you say, I want sky. I like a procedural sky. And then you put that into color. It's going to give you sky. And Nishita sky or pre-Atham sky or one of these. So yeah, now it should be a bit, yeah, if you go into rendering, you can see that it gives you a sort of like a real sky thing. And while the Blender actually blends your GI, the Baker doesn't. So let's actually try to render that. If I now bake the environment, yeah, as you can see, it just it's basically just taking all the sides and then applying those. Yeah, it's literally just putting environment texture onto it. So that's not what I want. I want the actual GI. So let's try. What about shadow now? Is it just going to do the shadow again? Even if I have the sky thing? Yeah, it still does the shadow. Yeah, that's not with this environment. And if I try to use, yeah, the environment doesn't have any options, unfortunately. If I try to use combined and a bake. It does actually bake what I would expect, but the thing is that all these, it is using white color. So if anything had a different material, like for example, if this had a red color, the problem is that baking this red color, it would bake this red color, which I don't want. I don't want colors from the object itself. I just want the bounce. As you can see. Oh, and why is this white? Maybe just because of the sun, but why is the top not white then? It's kind of weird. Clear. Yeah, if I remove direct. Clear. Ah, where is the not cleared object? Okay. If I remove direct, would that only have red cast from the objects? It still is red, you see. This object is still red. I don't understand why, right? It should, I want, if you remove direct, yeah, I think that this direct is indirect is just the bounces. So it doesn't actually, yeah, I don't know. I don't understand because there's still shadow here, which is sort of a direct. And if you disable diffuse, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Okay. So why is this? Okay, maybe it needs to have a material, that's why. What if you remove everything? Okay. If you remove everything, yeah, then it won't. If you only have diffuse, yeah. Oh, if you, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, you need diffuse, but I don't want the color of the object. Yeah, sucks. If you have, yeah, if you only have glossy, what does it do now? So it gives you some gloss thing. So if you just add objects to everything, materials to everything, some white material. Okay. And I bake now. Okay, so this is almost, so look. It does actually give me indirect color, even though I didn't, even if I remove diffuse. I don't understand anything. Because like I removed diffuse. So why does it give me glossy? So what is does glossy mean like like reflection? That's kind of like a you know, smooth reflection. So this is kind of what I need, where I don't want the color of the object itself, but I do want its reflection. So maybe this is close to what I need. Okay, what if I turn on direct now? Okay, so maybe this is what I need. Maybe I need glossy. Maybe I need glossy reflection, but not a diffuse reflection. What about transmission and emission? I guess this is only if you have emissive materials. Yeah, there's no difference. Maybe that's what I need. So it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it kind of makes sense if you think about the glossy is like reflection. So yeah, it's definitely not. Diffuse will just make it the color. So what if I make this? Yeah, I think what I actually need is only glossy. Yeah. Oh, okay, you missed everything. Uh, so basically, I think what I need is actually glossy. It doesn't make any sense, but I think that what they mean by glossy is like a reflection, not like. So what I thought glossy means is I thought it means smoothness. Yeah, roughness. Let's try with roughness. If roughness is 0, or no, roughness is 1, and this was 1. So what happens now? Is there any glossy contribution at all? There is. Yeah, maybe this is what I actually need. But why is it also yellow? Is it just because the sky is yellow? Oh, it is. It is yellow. Yeah, if I use a different sky model. Let's try this. Okay. Now it's totally black. Is it just because it's too dim? The sun plays, yeah, it does play a role, but it's just. Okay, so let's increase the background strength. Yeah, I think that's it. Can I actually make the environment? Yeah, let's not use the sky. Let's just use a pure color. Oh wow, the baking is so okay. So the procedural sky takes a long time. With this low resolution, it looks kind of like marble even. So yeah, I think it just takes a lot of time to. Okay, so what if I now say that strength of the sun is 1000? Okay, so now that's interesting. Okay, so now direct makes sense. What about indirect? Okay, so now it does make sense. Direct and indirect. Yeah, so I guess I just had to go with glossy and not diffuse. I think that glossy in this case only means reflection. And diffuse means the color of the object itself. Honestly, the 0.5 default roughness looks really good. Yeah. I think so too. I agree. But yeah, I mean, I can see that later. Interestingly, that it suddenly takes a longer time to do. Maybe because of the strength of the sun? No, I think it's just because it's semi. So yeah, let's do this. No, it is faster now. So it does have to do with the strength of the sun. Interestingly. Okay, what about 50? This actually looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna apply that. I can apply that to the game. Let's save this just in case. And then I'm gonna take a very short 5-minute break. And I'm gonna come back to continue the stream. Shakedown. Okay, test. Baking test. Baking. Combined. Let's call it glossy. Okay. So let's try on this one house using the same thing I had, which is combined direct, indirect, and only glossy. And it's totally black because we don't have the environments. Okay, let's make the sun super powerful. 50. Cool. Oh, we have some GI from the ground, which is cool. Yeah, it's good that we don't have GI, the diffuse one. You can decrease the max bounces in the sun drastically, I think. Yeah. I also think that probably I don't need like 100,000 bounces. Yeah, that's probably the stronger the photons, the more bounces there will be. So yeah, let's see. What did I want? I wanted to make the environment a bit brighter. Where is that? That's here. Surface. No, what's the name of it? Surface. I need to remember. There it is. Surface. Color is black. Okay, let's make it a little bit brighter. Gray. Any difference? Slightly. Okay, that's nice. So now And now I don't need to clean the vertex. So it seems like it doesn't multiply. So why did I even make this plugin? Yeah, I wasted like 2 hours for no reason. Great. So sometimes, whoops, sometimes you discover some cool things. There it is. Being lit. I should increase the sun as well because it should be white. The direct sun should be white. It's lit. Yeah. Okay, I have to make a very short break and I'll be back. It'll take a little snack or something. But don't worry. I'll be back in a few minutes. See you.